Are you a forward thinker? Then you need an HR and finance platform that thinks like you do. Workday is the AI platform that helps propel your organization, your workforce, and your industry into the future. Workday, moving business forever forward.
Remember when James Cameron nearly directed a Spider-Man movie?
What about when we almost got Batman Year One with Joaquin Phoenix?
Or David Goyer's Flash movie that would have starred Ryan Reynolds?
Well, if you want to learn about all the unmade superhero movies, then check out Superhero Stuff You Should Know.
Hosted by Ben Wan and Alex Ramsey, every month we cover nostalgic superhero movies with deep dives into unmade scripts, early drafts, deleted scenes, alternate cuts, concept art, novelizations, and tie-in novels.
We also interview the people involved in making the superhero films of our childhood, with our past guests including superhero actors, directors, screenwriters, and concept artists.
So remember, that's Superhero Stuff You Should Know, or Superhero SYSK on social media. Check us out on YouTube and wherever you get your podcasts. Remember when James Cameron nearly directed a Spider-Man movie?
What about when we almost got Batman Year One with Joaquin Phoenix?
Or David Goyer's Flash movie that would have starred Ryan Reynolds?
Well, if you want to learn about all the unmade superhero movies, then check out Superhero Stuff You Should Know.
Hosted by Ben Wan and Alex Ramsey, every month we cover nostalgic superhero movies with deep dives into unmade scripts, early drafts, deleted scenes, alternate cuts, concept art, novelizations, and tie-in novels.
We also interview the people involved in making the superhero films of our childhood, with our past guests including superhero actors, directors, screenwriters, and concept artists.
So remember, that's Superhero Stuff You Should Know, or Superhero SYSK on social media. Check us out on YouTube and wherever you get your podcasts.
Katie, we are back with another episode, and man, I mean, episode 4, and we're tackling a heavy hitter. For the first time, but certainly not the last time, will we talk about Veggie Tales. And we brought along your longtime co-host of Napping Through Happy Hour, Marie Brand, for this one.
Hello.
I gotta ask, I think we're all of the same opinion, right? That, like, regardless where our faith has ended up, Veggie Tales is still, like, kind of good, right? Like, that's, like, where we're all at right now.
I enjoyed watching the episode.
Like,
that's for sure. I enjoyed it. It brought back a lot of core memories.
It brought back a lot of core memories for me as well, but it was also core memories that were like of a not great time. So I have such an interesting relationship with Veggie Tales that I love the show and everything that it kind of promoted and did. But it was like usually during times of like great strife.
Oh no.
And
okay.
yeah, so this is gonna be a fun one, you guys.
All right. Well, before we dive into Veggie Tales, we have the 10 questions that we have to ask Marie to see what her level of Christian cringe is.
Okay.
All right. So question number 1: have you ever identified as a Christian?
Yes.
Okay. Question number 2: did you ever attend youth group?
Yes, I did.
Okay. Question number 3: did you own a "What Would Jesus Do" t-shirt or bracelet?
Oh, I had a bracelet.
Okay.
WWJD, baby.
All right. Question number 4: did you declare in any way at some point in your life that you were saving yourself for marriage?
Oh, many times. Yeah.
Question number 5: did you ever have a strong opinion about a Christian band blowing up in the mainstream, either overly excited for their success or calling them sellouts?
Jars of Clay definitely was one of
I love that there's even a specific example.
Oh, man.
To the
Well, now we know who's coming on for the Jars of Clay episode. All right. Question number 6: have you ever asked someone, how's your relationship with Jesus?
Oh my God, on the streets of Las Vegas. You know?
Yes.
All right. Question number 7: did you ever participate in an awkward youth group play in front of the church?
Yeah. Oh God.
Oh man, we might have our first 100%er. All right.
This is why we needed her on.
Question 8: have you ever held up your hand while being moved by worship music?
What else is there to do? I mean, worship music.
All right.
You have to surrender.
All right, question number 9. Did you ever try to convince a friend to listen to a Christian artist by saying they were as good, if not better, than a popular mainstream artist?
I feel like DC Talk probably was suggested by other people. I know I brought people to those concerts, so I'm going to say yes.
And then the final question, and this might put you at maximum 100% Christian cringe. Do you ever wake up some nights in a cold sweat remembering something you said or did while you were at your most religious?
Oh, taking that purity pledge.
All right. We have our first 100% cringe right there with Katie and I.
I was in. I was deep in. Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure.
I think we all were. And it's so funny because over the years, like the more that Matt and I talked about doing this and the more that I talked to you, Maria, I was like, oh, I think this is why we get along so well, all three of us.
Well, because it is one of those things where, like, I mean, there is a, how do I word this? So I went to, I do merch for the band Punchline, who I also do a podcast with the bassist from Punchline. And at their most recent show, someone came up to me when I was at the merch table and said, I didn't even know this band until I heard your podcast. Huh. And she was like, and I was like, oh, how'd you find the podcast? And she goes, you posted about it in the 90s Christian music recovery group. And then we just like started talking about like there's this weird thing where you like, if you grew up specifically in that 90s, 2000s moment where like the Christian youth push was at its probably strongest.
Highest.
Like you have this weird bond with the other people who went through it. And I think part of that bond, as I've talked about on the show, is like some of it was really bad and other parts of it will never leave your brain. Like if you think that when I was watching this, I didn't still know every word to God is bigger than the boogeyman while watching it. Like it's like there's just these things that are pounded into your head and like no one else can understand it or has any connection to it. And like we're even seeing it now with like how many TikToks have I sent you, Katie, that are like people just reacting to Veggie Tales and they have hundreds of thousands of like likes. Like it's just this thing that hit a very specific generation, and we're gonna podcast about it.
Yeah, I need to get on Veggie Tales TikTok. Apparently,
I know. I feel like, but the only Veggie Tales TikTok I usually end up getting is from Matt Kelly. Yeah.
And it's usually just a bunch of people covering his cheeseburger. It's very
or where's my hairbrush?
Where's my hairbrush? Those are the two really big popular ones.
Yeah.
Respect for one of the songs we'll talk about later on today, Water Buffalo song, as a true cold classic. Oh
yeah.
I'm gonna go ahead and make the assumption that none of us, this was our first watch of Veggie Tales in our lives, right?
We had the VHSs for sure. Yeah, we loved Veggie. My dad really liked Veggie Tales.
How were you? Because I was trying to think back how we got introduced to it. It must have been somebody in the church, but we had VHS, and I don't know who was like, "Hey, you should watch this," or "Your kids should watch this." Do you guys remember how you got introduced to Veggie Tales?
Our church had a library inside of it that had like books and videos that you could rent. And like they weren't all like religious books. Like I remember that's where like as a kid I would get like Berenstain Bears and Little Critter books. Like they were in the church library, and they're not like overtly religious as far as I know. They're just kids books. Something that we'll definitely talk about in a future episode. That's where I first saw McGee and Me, which was like one of those early like Christian kid pushes. But I think when Veggie Tales came out, even people who like, exclusively watched Christian media could tell it was special and different, because I was the oldest of 4 kids. And I'm sure that they weren't recommending my mom rent the first episode of Veggie Tales for me, but I got hooked in as much, if not more, than my siblings. And then it was like every month there was a new Veggie Tales video at the church library that we would rent out and watch. And then suddenly I'm buying like the Veggie Tales soundtracks and I went and saw the Jonah Veggie Tales movie in theaters with like 5 other people in the whole theater.
Oh, nice.
I was in probably 8th or 9th grade at this point. It was definitely one of those, like, I'm too old to be enjoying this as much as I am.
But it was like a comfort thing.
It was. It's very soothing, and I think we don't get a lot of it in this episode, but I know like future episodes, the Monty Python influence to like the team that did
huge.
VeggieTales humor was like so predominant, and it was that like very. Like, there's even a couple, like, there's a scene in this where, like, they're trying to talk to Junior about God, and they walk him to the window and say, like, look up, Junior, what do you see? And he just says, the curtains. Like, there's, like, these little jokes that are, like, kind of Mel Brooksy, Monty Python type jokes.
Very.
Like,
it was one of those things that, like, I remember my mom would give me the reference points when it was clear like what it was coming from, and be like, oh, you have to watch Monty Python and the Holy Grail in order to understand the peas on the wall, the French peas.
But something that I have to compliment, now my life is very different than it was a year ago, right? Now I live in a house that has 3 children in it basically 90% of the time. And when I was watching this, like living with a kid who's close to Junior's age, the scene where they like tell him, hey, you should probably shut that off. It's probably scaring you. And he's like, I'm not scared. And then like you can see, you can see like the hesitancy when he walks upstairs. Like I see that on a regular basis because I'm not sure how much you guys have experienced this, but kids' YouTube is like weirdly scary a lot of the time.
Skibbity Toilet is a really freaky thing that kids are into.
Yeah. It's like really like, and like that's the thing is like the oldest of the 3 kids who's 9, like he wants to watch Twitch streamers playing scary video games or wants to watch like videos of the history of Five Nights at Freddy's. And then his younger brother who's 7 is like there and like taking in the video and getting, but like when we say like, do you want us to turn this off? He's like, no, I'm not scared. And then like, then it's time for bed and he's like very nervous to go upstairs in the dark. And what, what I mean? Like they actually did a great job of capturing how a child does think about scary things in a good way. And I mean, I don't know why, but man, that Franken-Celery, just the fact that his name is Franken-Celery made me laugh so hard. Like, it's such a bad name.
But I love that he tells his dad later, he's like, Frank, he's really Bob from, or whatever his real name is.
Phil Winkelston. I'm Phil Winkelston. I'm an actor from Minnesota. I'm just a regular guy.
It's so good.
Yeah. But there's that, and like I do love that. I feel like VeggieTales itself has sort of the psychology of what it's like to be a kid and how to communicate with kids in like a fun, wacky sort of way, in a very non-threatening way. And one of the things that I really like about that is that it's also how I used to be able to view horror movies, is just be like, they're actors.
Yeah.
These are props and fake things. And like, that's what got me more interested in being like, oh yeah, how did they do that? As opposed to, this is so scary.
And I do think, like, in all sincerity, I will never say that like VeggieTales is as good or better than say Sesame Street or Mr. Rogers. But I think that similar to those two things, I don't think VeggieTales talks down to the kid audience the way that a lot of children's media, both secular or Christian, does. And it is like designed with like, we're going to entertain the parents that are watching this with their kids. And I think that I actually think that there's a group of people. I know Dylan from Christmas 365, his girlfriend was like, she's like, I don't think I realized I was watching a religious cartoon as a kid when my grandmother would put on VeggieTales. It just was a fun cartoon. Right.
Well, it was vegetables teaching morals. I mean, like, how wholesome can you get?
Exactly.
No, well, it's actually, the funny thing is, I knew it was a Christian, like, I remember it being a Christian, like, cartoon, or is digital something. It's not quite a cartoon, right?
It's like one of the first 3D animated TV shows that was, I guess, after the Canadian show reboot.
Yeah, and we're talking about the very first episode, which I can even say within that first year, the animation got so much better than this first episode.
Yeah, it did.
Like, this first episode's very kind of janky, and you can tell it was like 3 or 4 people making a thing in their house. Like, it's
doing different voices. And
it's like watching the first 6 episodes of South Park and then just watching like season 2 of South Park. Like, it's so dramatically different. and
Even
what
the
they
pacing.
yeah. Yeah, because this
the pacing
drags.
of this first episode is, it drags. I was like, oh right, I remember this. And they don't get quite to the snappy, witty stuff. I feel like until like the second or third episode, but yeah,
this is like a pilot in the truest sense. Like it feels like it has all of the issues that a pilot has.
Well, I guess I was thinking, I forgot that they explicitly talk about God.
Yeah.
Until I heard God is bigger than the big man. I was like, oh, but I don't remember that. Like it's Christian in a way that's very approachable. And obviously they do reference God.
Yeah.
But I remember I was thinking, I was like, oh, there's a song about God here. Okay, really? So, and then they did the Daniel and the Lion's Den.
The Daniel and the Lion's Den, which is a full-blown musical. Like, there's like 3 lines of dialogue in that entire thing. It's mostly
song. A rock opera.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's a biblical rock opera. And I feel like as the episodes went along, they kind of moved it a little bit more secularized and a little bit more towards morality as opposed to Christian specifically. Mm-hmm. But this was definitely like, we are intending to be a good, wholesome Christian kids show. The unfortunate part was that they were also telling biblical stories that so my mother loved her to death. She was bipolar and an alcoholic, and when they did not get the historical accuracies of the biblical story of Daniel and the Lion's Den correct, I witnessed my mom have a full-on mental breakdown.
Oh no!
Yeah, so like I love this show, but there's such a tie with like how historically and biblically inaccurate like some things are, because she had a full-on meltdown because of this. Along with I forget the Nebuchadnezzar story that I think they end up doing a little bit later. And so when the show started to become a little bit more secularized, I actually started to like it a little bit more because it was like, oh, we don't have to double check reference points in the Old Testament to whether or not this is going to be okay or set my mom off.
So this springs up a memory that I had.
Wow, what a memory.
Yeah.
I'll bring a positive memory because that did unlock a memory. The very first time that I ever was like a youth leader for a youth group was like my first or second year in college. They asked me if I would be interested in being a youth leader for the junior hires. And I was like, sure, why not? And my brother was in junior high, so it seemed like this will be fun or whatever. And we were teaching about Job. And I'll never forget this moment where the youth pastor is talking about Job, and the one kid, Charlie, raises his hand and he goes, I hate to interrupt, but I think you have some of this incorrect. He goes, ooh, when they told this story on South Park, it was a meteor that hit Job.
Oh my God, I love that.
When they told us,
phenomenal.
It was the best. And everyone took it with like a good humor. Like there was like a laugh, and she's like, well, South Park takes some liberties with stories. Like she handled it with the grace of someone who should in fact be a youth leader.
Hey, do you have an idea for a podcast but don't know where to start? Or do you have an already existing podcast that you want to take to the next level? Well, check out WeKnowPodcasting.com. From concept development to theme music to editing to logos, WeKnowPodcasting.com is a one-stop shop for all things pod. Don't hesitate to hit us up. We're very nice.
I have to read this one note that I wrote down, which is like, so Junior's watching Frankencelery, goes upstairs, he looks at his family portrait, and they all turn into Frankencelery, and he's like super afraid to fall asleep. And the problem is that Junior has a genuine right to be concerned when Bob and Larry just burst into his bedroom.
I completely forgot about that point, and I was just like, a tomato and a cucumber, which I love the running bit that Larry is a pickle.
Yeah.
But I was like, oh yeah, like they're just sort of like, they come as like almost angels in a way, but it like in a weird way.
It's so funny. And then, so the other like positive memory I have with this song is like my mom loved this God is Bigger Than the Boogeyman song.
Sure.
And at the time that Veggie Tales came out, she was the head of the children's choir at our church. So she taught herself how to play the song on the piano, and she did it with the children's choir where she would sing the Bob and Larry parts, and then the kids would sing the chorus and any of the lines that Junior Asparagus had. And it was legitimately like one of the cutest things I've ever watched in my entire life. Like it is absolutely adorable. But like even in the song, there's so many funny parts. Like he talks about, it's like there's 100 million monsters jumping into your jammies. And then he's like, so what are you going to do? And Junior's just like, I'm going to call the police.
Yeah.
That's right.
It's not a great lesson to respond with, no, you don't have to do anything. Like,
but like also so grounding in aspect, especially when I feel like a lot of these sort of morality shows will tend to be a little bit fantastical and give you fantastical solutions. But I love that Junior does say, I'm going to go call the police.
Yeah, he's my favorite character. He's always my favorite character in these. He has that line where he goes, well, is God bigger than King Kong? Because King Kong's really big and kind of scary. And then he asks if he's bigger than like a slime creature. And they're like, he's exactly like him. And he goes, God can squirt slime out his ears? Like it is, they do such a good job with Junior, like capturing the same way that Sesame Street did a good job with like Elmo and Big Bird kind of being the voice of the audience that the show is intended for. Like Junior has very accurate, relatable, accurate reactions, which again, like, I don't think you're going to hear us say that about a lot of the stuff aimed at older people when we cover on this podcast. Like Veggie Tales was like the only one that comes to mind that really kind of got that is important, that it has to feel realistic and relatable to the kids watching.
Yeah, it felt like it breached the gap of some of these stories that seem a little bit distant and dry and boring, like Babylonian times and things like that.
And I know it was like the bane of your mom's existence, but I do think that they boiled it down to like the simplest, easy to digest. Yeah. Because like I hate when I have to teach at youth group because like there's a very simple message that you can give somebody, right? It's like, hey, don't be an adulterer or whatever. But instead you're like, all right, we're going to dive into the story of King David. And it's like so layered and so boring and so many twists and turns that it's like, why are we going through all this to get there? And I think that that's what does work with the Daniel and the Lion's Den is like, it is that like 3 or 4 chapter book of the Bible boiled down into a couple quick songs. Like, here's the simple act 1, act 2, act 3 that you need for understanding the story. And here's a couple catchy songs that you'll be humming for the rest of the week. Like I know all day today's been like, oh no, what we gonna do? The king like Daniel more than begging you. Like, it's like they were really good at writing those like silly songs, and that song is awesome because it has like a round happening where like one like because they're singing that oh no what are we going to do part over and over again, and then there's a second vocal that's doing like we should throw him in the like it's really well structured as a piece of music, which is like more than you can say for this type of entertainment usually.
Well, didn't they? That's why I think they had albums, right? You could get a Veggie Tale album and, you know, throw that in the car on a car ride and you'd have a great time.
I mean,
well, and that was like the like album that we would play on any kind of like youth group mission or whatever, like when we were younger. Silly Songs with Larry. And what a great little interstitial throughout all of the shows, just to have like a silly song that doesn't have to do with anything. Like,
and this is
looking for his hairbrush.
Yeah, and this one's got one of my favorites, is the Water Buffalo song. It's such
a good one. It's
such a dumb, goofy thing. Do you guys remember? I mean, again, this is a future cover for us for sure. In 2004, they put out Veggie Rocks, which was Christian bands covering Veggie Tales songs.
Yes.
Featuring, here's a couple throwback names for all of y'all. Rebecca St. James did the Veggie Tales theme song.
God, that's right.
Stevenson did I Love My Lips. Sanctus Real did Promised Land.
Sanctus Real.
The Newsboys did In the Belly of the Whale. Super Chick did the Water Buffalo song.
I love Super Chick.
Super Chick. I'm excited for us to do some Super Chick episodes. Paul Coleman did I'm So Blue. Audio Adrenaline did the Hairbrush song. The best cover on the album, Reliant K, did Pirates Who Don't Do Anything, which absolutely rips.
That one is really good. That's a banger.
The OC Supertones did I Can Be Your Friend. Tate, which was Michael Tate of DC Talk's side project, did His Cheeseburger. And then, man, the band that turned the most heel in the last couple of years, Skillet, did Stand.
Skillet.
Yeah. Oh, do you know about what's happening with Skillet? Do you know anything about this?
What's going on with Skillet?
Oh,
no.
boy. Okay.
Marie, do you know Skillet?
Yeah, Marie.
I don't. I actually was surprised at how many of those bands I didn't remember.
Oh, man. That was a big, those were a lot of...
Reliant K stuck out to me.
Yeah. That was Forefront Records for sure. A lot of those were Forefront bands. So Skillet, their lead singer, John Cooper. The band is basically John Cooper and his wife. It's been the two of them since the third album with rotating musicians. But he has really found his place in the anti-woke community now. That is his whole thing. He's on Fox all the time. Him and Michael Tate from DC Talk are the two that really have gone the furthest into the bad place. It's really upsetting.
Okay, is Michael Tate part of the Tate family, or is that just coincidence?
I think that's just coincidence.
I just want to, I was is there something that I don't know?
No.
Okay.
It's just Michael Tate is the most interesting one to me because it's I don't know, man. You were the black guy. You were the black guy in a white group that was in a very white genre of music, and you're palling up with Candace Owen. That is
yikes.
Meanwhile, Kevin Max, who was always the weird guy in that band, is full-blown ex-jellicle and has podcasts about why you should maybe drop your faith entirely. It's crazy how divided the three men of DC Talk are. Listen, the amount of episodes that we can do about DC Talk, just from their humble beginnings as a bad rap group to a all right alternative rock group is fascinating, because that debut album where they're I remember this conversation starting when Marie brought up the fact that one of their albums has a song called Two Honks and a Negro, which is just an unfortunate track on an album.
If that doesn't bring cringe, I don't know what would.
Yeah, no, listen. Marie is firmly locked and loaded for the DC Talk Free at Last episode that we will eventually have to do. Which is a bummer because some of the songs on that album still kind of slap. Their cover of Lean on Me, pretty good, actually. Dust it off.
That'll definitely be for the new year once I regain my sanity after the holidays.
But I do think that it's interesting to look at this because The Daniel and the Lion's Den, I think, is objectively the better short, but it's the one that I remember less of because, man, did they come out the gate with this God is Bigger Than the Boogeyman first episode and just set the tone of this is what the show will eventually be. This is, and the structure's already there. The video that we watched had the front and back cut off of it. It doesn't have the theme song or Larry and Bob in the kitchen setting up anything. But it's you get one short, you get a Silly Songs with Larry, you get a second short. There's your 30 minutes. Have fun, get the song stuck in your head. And even with the Silly Songs with Larry, the Water Buffalo song, I think is such a funny bit because it's so short. And it gets cut off by legal mumbo jumbo. like Archibald Asparagus just being like, you can't promise everybody that they have a water buffalo. They don't have a water buffalo.
I have a water buffalo.
Like,
What happens when people say, "Oh, I want a water buffalo"? Oh, I have a water buffalo. It's funny because I watched pieces of this on double speed just to kind of like reacquaint myself, and I did not watch that part, but I remember that, so like that just came out of me, almost like a sickness, just like, oh, I have to say.
Well, because Archibald Asparagus had this like, he was like the Sam the Eagle of Veggie Tales, right? Yes. Like he was like he was the standards and practices character that was trying to keep them in the clear,
on track.
Because I think he's interrupted a couple silly songs with Larry. Like I feel like he interrupts the Say Boo episode, and he's like, "What is the point of this song? What is a Say Boo? Like, why are we here?" Like,
Say Boo. Yeah,
I don't remember that.
Oh man, Marie, you might be locked in as our Veggie Tales person. We'll just revisit Veggie Tales whenever you're on the show.
Oh, I would love to.
Do you remember, Marie? When you like first watched these episodes, like what was the songs, like what was the stuff that sticks out in your mind that kind of like brought up nostalgia?
Honestly, we and just because I hear my dad's voice singing it, like the opening song is really, it's Veggie Tales, it's so. It got me really geeked to watch the show. Like, oh yeah, this is gonna be a fun one. That's the song I actually remember probably the most.
Sure.
I don't know. Probably, I probably need to revisit some, and I'll probably remember a lot more than I can at this moment. But I remember, like when we were watching this episode, I immediately started singing "God is Bigger Than the Boogeyman," not even realize that I still knew that.
Yeah.
So
it's impressive how easily it comes out again. It just really unlocks a weirred part of your brain. And you have your niece visiting with you this week, which I love. No, there's nothing to apologize for whatsoever. But did she end up watching some of this with you?
Well, yeah. So I had it on my second screen for my work computer, and she was like, "Oh, what is that?" And I was like, "Okay, I'll put one on." So probably after this, I'm gonna watch the Christmas episode.
Oh, the Christmas episode's really good. There's some good songs in the Grumpy
queued up.
Kid. Oh man, here's the final unlock I'm gonna throw to you, because obviously this might be the catchiest of all the songs in the show, and we'll do it for our Easter episode, I think. But the bunny, ooh, I love the bunny. I don't love my mama or my daddy, just the bunny.
Just the bunny.
Oh, it's the best. Well, Marie, thank you so much for walking through the world of Christian cringe. You have firmly established yourself as cringy as the two of us. But if people want to follow your non-Christian cringe life, where can they keep up with everything that you're doing? Maybe another podcast that you host with one of the people over here?
Yeah. You can follow me at Mad Marie 13 on all of the... I don't know. I'm only on TikTok and Instagram right now.
That's all you really need.
Also, it's really. You can listen to our podcast, Napping Through Happy Hour, which I host with Katie. And I think it's Napping Through HH on Instagram, I believe, right?
It is, yeah. But you can always look for Napping Through Happy Hour, and we've got a lot of fun videos and upcoming guests and things that we like to promote on there.
Which I always misread it as just an extension of the word through, like napping through. Well, we'll be back next week with, I don't know quite what we're talking about yet, because we haven't planned that far ahead, but we'll be back with more Christian cringe.
Remember when James Cameron nearly directed a Spider-Man movie?
What about when we almost got Batman Year One with Joaquin Phoenix?
Or David Goyer's Flash movie that would have starred Ryan Reynolds?
Well, if you want to learn about all the unmade superhero movies, then check out Superhero Stuff You Should Know.
Hosted by Ben Wan and Alex Ramsey, every month we cover nostalgic superhero movies with deep dives into unmade scripts, early drafts, deleted scenes, alternate cuts, concept art, novelizations, and tie-in novels.
We also interview the people involved in making the superhero films of our childhood, with our past guests including superhero actors, directors, screenwriters, and concept artists.
So remember, that's Superhero Stuff You Should Know or Superhero SYSK on social media. Check us out on YouTube and wherever you get your podcasts.
You're listening to the Geekscape Network.